I'm sorry. That was the Aurora commercial. The Aurora commercial was very cool. Honestly, if I had to be completely honest, I think the Aurora commercial is cooler than the Cutlass commercial because it shows all the variants and the various features.
I like them all. I totally disagree.
I'm not saying you can't like them all, but I'm just saying it's like your kids. Oh, we've got the symbol. We've got show sign,
all right,
guys.
start this goodbyes. Ready? Here we go.
Goodbye,
Start
everybody.
it.
Goodbye, everybody.
You say bye. Go
I
ahead.
want to say slow goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching the pre-show. Great to be here.
Seriously.
Hope you enjoy it. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Ciao.
What does it take to build a symphony? It takes a blueprint. 4 movements that will dictate key, tempo, and the arrangement of musical notes that will create harmonies, melodies. It takes an orchestra. Master technicians of their craft, working in perfect unity to transform notes into sound and those sounds into an experience. But most of all, it takes emotion. A feeling so powerful that it transcends words. It must be conveyed in another form. Introducing the new 600i from Origin. A symphony in motion. See your authorized Origin dealer for details.
and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Sandy Gardner.
Guten Abend zusammen. Wir freuen uns, dass ihr heute Abend dabei seid. Now I'm going to continue in English because I feel like all you Germans speak English better than I speak German. So, good evening, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here personally tonight, and also to all of you online, including our CIG staff. I just want to send our quick thoughts across to our Austin, Texas office, and also to the Hall of Texas, as there is supposed to be a Category 3 rolling in there. So our thoughts are with you. Moving on, as you may or may not know, Germany is our second largest audience outside of the US, and it continues to be. So thank you very much for having us here again. We love being in Cologne. Since last Gamescom, we've had around 240 working days, and we have smashed 11,279 bugs. And we now have over 400 plus staff worldwide. So, on behalf of all of our staff, I'd like to say how grateful that we are for your continued support, as none of this would be possible without all of you. And you definitely are a great motivator in more ways than one, sometimes slightly negative, but mostly positive. Mostly positive, yes. And so if you haven't stopped by our show floor, we are in Hall 9, booth A51. And thank you to all the volunteers who are helping us out there, and also to the streamers. If you can't get to the show floor, you can see it on the stream. Thank you very much to Twitch. I'm assuming we're also on the front page tonight of Twitch. So, without further ado, I am going to introduce the man who you've all been waiting for, Chris Roberts.
Good to see you guys tonight. Are we having fun? Yeah. So normally I would have a PowerPoint, which we can have a bit of one here, and we would go over all the points, but we thought that perhaps we should just get straight in to a demo. And show you a combination of things. So first off, this is what we're going to show you is our 3.0 build. And we're going to show you some parts of 3.0 now that's all pulled together as opposed to what we showed a year ago. And we're also going to show a couple of additional things that will be coming down the road that are built into this that we're pretty excited by. Hopefully you guys will like it. And so without further ado, I'm going to move to the appropriate screen. We good to go, Glenn, on our side? Okay, and then the only thing I'll warn you is this is probably the most high level of coordination difficulty demo we've ever done live before. So, and we still have a lot of bugs in 3.0, so I'm not making any promises. All right, thank you. So as I mentioned, we're showing you a snapshot of 3.0 that you guys will be getting your hands on in the very near future as soon as we get rid of the remaining bugs. In 3.0, we now have, can I bring the music down a bit on this at the moment? So in 3.0, we now have 3 different moons. So we've got Daymar, Selen, and Yela. And in addition to that, we have the asteroid of Delamar, which has the Levski landing zone on, and it's the first full implemented landing zone that we're having in the PU, and it's much more built out than it was previously. And with 3.0, we have proper persistence, which means that your character state is retained, your ship state is retained, your items state is retained. So if your ship's shot up and you leave the game and come back, it will still be shot up. Also, your location is important. So if you leave a ship on a moon, it will still be there when you come back, or maybe not if someone else has stolen it, but it certainly won't just respawn back in your hangar. So, and the sort of three major save points currently in the 3.0 build are Port Olisar, Levski, and Grim Hex. So we're going to start here in Levski. Glenn here is in his easy hab. Let's get out of bed, Glenn. Well, you wouldn't expect Glenn to sleep in his spacesuit, would you? That is so 2.6. So, as you've noticed, Glenn is in his skivvies or sleeping outfit. But in 3.0, and this is quite different than what we showed last year. We have a completely modular clothing system, so you can dress however you want. Previously it was like you either had your civilian outfit or your armor outfit. That's no longer the case in 3.0. You can do any combination you want, so you can put whatever, different jacket, trousers, t-shirt, long coat, armor. You can mix and match different armor pieces, different helmets and everything. So let's pull up our Moby Glass, Glenn. So the other thing you'll notice here, and in the Moby Glass, well, one of the apps will help us dress, but just to notice here in the Moby Glass, that's another big difference between what we showed last year and what we've put into the new 3.0, which is we've completely refactored the Moby Glass, which is your sort of, well, it's basically a smartphone in the future. And here's sort of the home screen, which I think we've shown on a few ATVs, but just to go through it, obviously that's how much money we've got, 125,000 UEC. You can see in the middle what our heart rate is, and we have this thing called the stamina system that we're introducing with 3.0, which tracks your stamina. So our heart rate indicates how exhausted we can become. And so if we're running around a lot, that'll go up, our stamina will go down. If we're injured, it potentially will go up too. And obviously exerting yourself, running around affects that. Whether you're injured affects that. Also what you're wearing affects that. What you're carrying affects that. So it's quite important in terms of, I think, immersive gameplay. And then to the right, we can see the external atmosphere reading. At the moment, it's 1 atmosphere, and we have a breathable atmosphere. So the other thing that we've added to 3.0 is we track the atmosphere you're in. So in the case of Levski, there's a breathable atmosphere inside Levski, but it's on an asteroid, so if you go outside, there is no breathable atmosphere. We also can track the composition of the atmosphere, which you can see there. So there could be an atmosphere but poisonous to you, say a human. So either you need to be in a breathable atmosphere, or you need to be wearing a suit, spacesuit, environment suit, whatever, that has an oxygen supply, or you will die. So that's not very good. Then on the rest of the homepage, if you got your currently selected vehicle, you would have the status of that, your track mission, and then if you had your suit, that would be the status of the suit, how much oxygen you've got, how much, what the suit's got, how much your tank's got. So here on the bottom are where all our apps are. So the first app on the top left is the contract manager. Now the contract manager is where you'll get the various jobs or missions, however you want to think of it, in the game. Big move, thing for 3.0 is we've completely moved away from the old missions that we've had and moved into Subsumption, which runs both our missions and our AI. So that's AI. So that's a massive undertaking. I think we had about 16 missions in 2.6. In 3.0, we have, I think, about 26 different archetypes of missions, and beyond that, they can be combined in different combinations, and there's a large amount of procedural missions, so literally there can be millions of missions that you do in 3.0. It won't stop, so it's not like you have 16 finite missions you do, and you're done. There's missions to escort, missions to deliver something to a location, missions to go and get something from a location, missions to investigate a missing person, whether someone's dead on a wreck or not, identify them, take someone out, clean up pirates. And there's these templates that can be put together in different combinations. And on top of that, we can also have some missions that will be created where there can be a mission for one player, and then another player is given a mission in opposition to that. So there's a lot of potential for ongoing gameplay in 3.0 that wasn't in 2.6, which is important because now we have persistence, and so you need to earn money to keep your ship repaired or to keep it rearmed. I mean, no longer free missiles or no longer free fuel and all the rest of the stuff. Well, that's a game. You got to earn your money to keep your ship going. So there'll be much more of a game mechanic. So here's where we would have the various. So, like, for instance, this is just a simple one, a collection from Yella. Customer requires medical supplies, crate to be collected from an outpost on Yella and delivered to Port Olisar. So between this and between trading, where you can buy commodities in one location, take it to another and sell it, there's a whole sort of beginning of a dynamic economy that we can run. So besides the various jobs that we can select here, there can also be offers that we're getting from individuals. And by the way, in 3.0, it'll just be from the game and NPCs. But going forward, players will be able to also put missions up here and give off, basically make offers to other players. So let's see if we got any offers. So here we have, there's a job opportunity, and Eckhart Security, if everyone remembers Miles Eckhart from last year. So he is one of the 2 mission givers in 3.0. And he says, another job's popped up, thought you'd be a good fit, so we probably should go and talk to him about it. So we will accept that. And then if we have a mission that we've fully accepted, because we just accepted the offer to talk about it, we would have an accepted, and then also the history of missions we've done in the past. Then the other sort of tabs we have is there's one for our sort of repair, restock, refuel stuff if we were at a Cryastro station, or you can also do that in locations like Levski or Port Olisar. Over here, the next tab will be the vehicle works. It's currently called Live Works IR, but this is, you'll be able to modify and change out equipment on your ship very much like you can in the Arena Commander app at the moment. We also have a journal, although we haven't really done anything at the moment. Glenn is just beginning. And then we have comms, which we'll show you in a little bit. And Star Map, which we'll show in a bit, and we'll go to the Player Manager app right here, which is how we sort of organize our dressing. So we're in the skivvies. This is why we went to the Movie Glass in the first place. So let's put on some trousers and some boots and maybe a jacket. There we go. Looking very fashionable to go outside. And, in 3.0, there's actually quite a lot of clothes that we've added for people to dress and customize themselves how they want. All right, Glenn, let's turn around. And one other sort of major interface feature that we've done, which we talked a little bit about in ATV, is what we call the player interaction mode. And if any of you guys have been down on the show floor and played a little bit there, I think you started to use it. But it's everywhere. It's our unified way of interacting. So you hit F, and you move the mouse around. Anything you can interact with will be highlighted. The action will have an inner thought. Potentially there'll be more than one action. And it's how you press buttons, open doors, pick up an item, interact with your cockpit. So you no longer have to remember all these shortcuts. So when you're in your cockpit, there are physical buttons to do everything like deploy landing gear, open the canopy, all the rest. So of course there still will be the shortcuts, but for a new user experience, I think it's much more friendly. So here we are outside our Easy Hab. And one other small feature that we've added, which is, well, there you go. Movement. Use mouse wheel, up mouse to increase the speed. So we can control our movement speed with the mouse wheel, which, in a PC FPS game, normally WASD, you're either running or you're not running. So this sort of allows us to control our speed. So if we're in a social situation, we don't want to be running around, say, inside a bar. But when we want to get somewhere fast, like get to the bar, yes, we may want to run. And you also notice the hint system that came in. So the hint system is something else we've added to 3.0 to make the experience much more friendly for new players. We're hoping there'll be quite a few new people in 3.0. And here, so we're in Levski. We obviously saw this last year, but what we didn't see last year is AI moving around, doing things, in that case sitting down. I think if we look, yep, he's checking his Moby glass. Maybe there's a maintenance guy doing some work somewhere. I guess not now. That's the nature of AI running around. There's about 200 AI running around Levski at the moment. And it's the beginning of subsumption. Subsumption AI is what we're using in Squadron 42 and we'll be using in the PU. It's very much a Sims type AI, so people have schedules. They go to sleep, they get up in the morning, they go to work, they go get lunch, etc., etc. All right, so let's go down. I guess if we follow him, we'll see he'll probably... maybe he's going to use the... No, he's going to check it out. He's going to get his little thing out, and he's going to do some work on it. There you go. All right, let's go down to Café Musan. So in 3.0, there is sort of basic AI moving around, doing things, shopkeepers, bartender, mission givers, but it's just the beginning of what we're putting on, and it's going to be much more fluid and more sophisticated as we go down. Again, we use the user interaction mode for everyone. Here we're in Delamar. As you can see, there's a fairly big amount of change in the sort of space landscape. This is actually how Delamar is meant to be. It's a very large asteroid in a big asteroid field. So we have some pretty large asteroids up there. There's a couple that are 20 plus kilometers inside. And here we are at the sort of the main market section, which we walked through last year. And if you haven't noticed on the sort of lighting and volumetric fog, so we've switched to volumetric fog, which we also had a little piece on ETV. Makes the lighting much, much, much better. So the sort of sense of the shops are available throughout the Grand Parter. And one of the nice things, so with 3.0, like between this and last year, we filled out all the shops in Levski and added some stuff in other places like Port Olisar. So for instance, there's shops for ship items and weapons. But let's go and find Miles Eckhart. So besides clothing shops, armor shops, personal weapon shops, there's shops for ship items, and in the next release 3.1 we will have ships that you can buy as well, and that will be the full amount, the trifecta. Right. All right. Well, we're gonna switch to Glenn's partner to find Miles, because Miles seems to be missing for us.
Glenn, are you down here?
There he is.
Hey, Glenn.
Let's talk to Miles. Get our mission.
Glad you could make it. Grab a seat. From time to time, jobs find their way to me that aren't orthodox requests. That's a better way to say that, but let's just say they aren't the kind of ops you can give to just anyone. They require a very specific type of person. Mutual friends have told me that you might be one of those precious few who are capable of completing a contract without question. If I'm wrong, we can leave it at that. Enjoy a drink in my spectacular company for a few minutes, and we'll part ways with the understanding that this meeting never happened. If I'm right, I might just have a gig that I could use you for.
So again, the player interaction mode's used for this again. So we can either be interested or not, but we're interested, obviously. Otherwise,
give you some backstory here. One of the many services Eckhart Security provides is as independent investigators. Sometimes that means extracting black box data, pulling data pads from wrecks, or even looking for missing persons. Different day, different job. That's what my dad always said. Sending you the details.
All right. So he's going to send us details. Let's check out what the mission is. Retrieve black box. So his mission, a government witness has been transported across the system to testify in the trial of major syndicate boss. When the transport was shot down, the lawyers want to prove that they were targeted by syndicate assassins. So they're paying good money to retrieve the black box, which recorded the crime. Unfortunately, it's highly likely that if the syndicate did organize the hit, they'll be sending some people to retrieve the black box to wipe the data, so you'll have to hurry. All right, it's a pretty hefty contract, so it's probably pretty risky. It's also, this is actually an example of a opposition mission where
Let me know when
there'll be
it's
another
done.
group going for it. All right, so let's get out and...
Hey, you done?
Sorry about that. I had to talk to Eckhart.
Okay, so...
He just gave us a mission.
Wait, you're a guy?
Yeah, why not? I wanted to try something different. What do you think of my look?
Okay, so hold on, guys. So one thing that we're going to show here, and this is a feature that we've put into the game. It's not going to be in 3.0, but it will be soon afterwards. Two things. One, which is
Just stare at me.
VoIP.
That's a spirit.
And the other is what we call
That is a great smile.
face over IP. So hold up, guys.
Anyway, so we have this mission to do. We have to get a black box.
Hey, guys, just pause for a second, please. Are you hearing me or not? All right, so hang on a sec. We'll just... Hang on. Guys, can you pause? Just pause for a second. Hold. Pause for a second. Okay, so... Sorry, we've got to coordinate because we have Melissa who's down in the basement as another player, and we have Glenn here. So, but we have what we call face over IP, which is a combination of diegetic voice over VoIP. So wherever we say, like, Melissa, can you back away talking, please?
Right, so like I was saying, we have this mission. We gotta get a black box. It's from Daymar. It shouldn't take too long, and I know the perfect pilot for it. Can you still hear me okay?
I can't hear you.
What was that?
I said speak up.
I still hear you.
Okay. So now, Melissa, can you come forward talking and then go to Glenn's right?
So, after we do this mission, I need to head to Grimhex. Actually, Yella. I left my ship there. So if you don't mind, and if it's not too much trouble, I'd really appreciate it.
So if you notice there, so so the voice is fully diegetic. It's
Shouldn't
in
take
the
too long, especially because John's a really good pilot.
Okay, all right.
He can get us anywhere.
All right, back to in front of Glenn, Melissa, and give me a second before we go to the next stage. So it's fully diegetic. It's in the world. If it's to the left, it's you hear the voice to the left. If it's to the right, you hear the voice to the right. Or if you actually had 3D sound, you would hear it behind you. It goes away in the distance. If you have a helmet on, it will become filtered and it will shift to comms. So that's part one. And the other part, which you've sort of seen a little bit that's happening here, is once we put that into the game, we sort of realized that if you don't have the face and the your lips moving when you're talking, and not only that, to try and sort of see more of the emotion, it feels really weird in a game that has the fidelity that Star Citizen did. So we've been working with a company called Faceware to put their live tracking SDK into our game, so we can drive our head rigs. And we have an advantage that we have this live rig technology that we've developed to work for Squadron 42 and that we use in the PU. And it's what drives Miles Eckhart, it's what drives all the stuff in Squadron 42, what drives the shopkeepers. And the advantage of that is that it has various poses for the faces. And as long as you can decode quick enough video coming in, then you can drive the facial stuff. So here we go. Yeah. And Melissa, do you want to pull up your debug window so they can just see it tracking on your screen? There we go. So if you can see, there's Melissa down in the basement. And and if yeah. And the nice thing with the tracking here is that it's really, really smart. We don't have to train it. It will recognize your face, and you just have to do one calibration looking in the center. It works with it works with standard webcams, and if you have a better webcam, it will work even better. So these ones are ones we'll tell you about in a little bit. And then we have one more feature because this enables because we track heads. So Glenn, maybe let's switch to Glenn. So let's switch to Glenn's view and like get a camera on Glenn. Okay, and then Glenn's view. There we go. Now Glenn, turn on your head tracking. Okay, so now on top of that, So it's essentially has the track AR functionality because we track the head as well, and it's quite useful, say, when you're in a cockpit looking around for situational awareness, and also, honestly, in these sort of situations, if you want to nod your head without having to move the mouse, it's pretty good. Okay, shall we get back to our mission?
Oh yeah, what's that mission about?
Were you not listening? We need to get a black box at Daymar.
My apologies, it's just a little busy in here is all.
So should we get some weapons?
You're right. It looks exhilarating in here. Everyone's dancing.
So I'm guessing we should get some weapons.
Let's go.
Yep.
Lead the way.
Specifically, the railgun. Let's go.
Dang, you want to blow some things up, don't you?
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, the idea, I mean, yeah, we're doing our silly QA banner here, but the idea is when this feature's in, you and your friends can be running around talking to each other in the universe, which I think will help because it's much better to talk rather than type in a chat window.
Oh my God,
and because it's in the universe, you can hail people nearby, you can talk to people. So yes, you could use TeamSpeak or Discord or Mumble or something like that, but it won't be diegetic, and it also won't allow you to sort of talk to someone you meet in a bar or have all the channels set up diegetically for our game and universe. So. Right, so here's an example of one of the additional shops in Levski.
Just up here.
Yes, like that. And if you notice, here's one other thing, is you can actually see in multiplayer everyone using their Moby glass. So if she purchases whatever she's looking at, Melissa, this is over there.
You got it?
Okay,
I'm going to look in the back, see if there's other.
I'm gonna get me some ammo.
Do that. Wow. You know it means business when it has a skull on it.
Yep. It's pure evil, which is perfect.
You're scary. You finished back there?
Yep. Got some other stuff too. all set too?
Oh, yeah.
Just got a few new items.
Great. Let's
So
go.
make sure to check them out.
Nah, I'm good. Ladies first. Okay, so if we're going over to Daymar, we're going to need a pilot.
Yep. I already told you. John.
Who's he again?
He's the guy I used to do some missions with back in the day. He has a constellation. The Aquila specifically. He can transport things really easily.
So, what are we doing?
We need to get some ship items. Dumper's Depot. If you don't mind anyway.
Can't he buy it
John's
himself?
not expecting us for a little while.
Hi. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with.
What was that, Glenn? Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just listening to the woman.
Oh, don't talk to them. They just try to sell you things.
So anyway, so this, Dumpers Depot is on Levski. There'll be several other shops in 3.0 where you can buy various things like shield
Found the one I
generators, coolers, power plants, and certain ones to upgrade your ships to make them better, because we have different grades of equipment with item
ready to
2.0.
go yet?
And you'll be able to buy ship weapons, and also at the various admin desks,
Glenn?
there's commodity kiosks and
ignoring
some
me?
stuff.
Just got a few new items in, so make sure to check them out.
All right, should we go?
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, we should probably go.
Yeah. Just wasting time here. I'm already
Man, you
done.
have no patience.
Patience? What is that?
Exactly. Move it, you.
You know, by saying that, it's a bit hypocritical, don't you think?
So I'm thinking, we get to the top lot, we take the rover, and we drive it to John.
Sounds like a plan.
Because I'm not walking on Daymar. I hate sand.
I've never been to Daymar.
There's sand everywhere.
So I've heard. Do you think there will be a sandworm there?
Not another word.
That would be awesome.
What's with you in nature?
Don't be scared, Glenn. I'll protect you. I just bought a railgun.
I don't know.
So we're going to head to the upper area of Levski, which is a totally new area, and it's where you connect to the outside and also the garages. So we just got to go up one more level. It's there we go.
Nice jacket, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so here we are on the very upper level.
All right. So I will get into my suit, and you will spawn the rover.
Yeah, no worries.
So Glenn's going to go up to the vehicle valet station, And this is where you summon your vehicles. So in this case, a rover to the garage. But if you had a ship, it would be to the hangar or the landing pads. And this works in concert with the air traffic control system, the ATC system, that is also new to 3.0 because now there'll be lots of players and landing zones. We don't want people to just hog a landing pad and ruin it for everyone else. So you have to request a landing spot. You get given it. You've got to land it within a certain period of time. When it landed there, your ship gets taken into the sort of big ship storage of whatever the landing zone, and then you call it back up through vehicle valet, which is what we just did for the rover, and it will be in a garage because with landing zones that actually are connected to a moon or in this case an asteroid planetoid or a regular planet, you'd have one.
Ready to go.
So here we are, we're getting dressed up. So outside of Levski and Delamar, there is absolutely no atmosphere, so we better put a spacesuit on. Putting a tasty blue and white number Explorer outfit, which is new for 3.0, as is what Melissa will be wearing. Well, he's got a helmet on, but and also you'll be able you'll be able to save out your predefined loadout. So you know, whatever you want to call it, your Sunday best. But he's looking quite dapper there.
And clear.
You still read me?
Yep.
So now you'll notice the voice is filtered because it's over comms in the helmets.
I wanted to do it.
So here we're outside. You see all that little AI wandering around here. What's happening? So let's go out. The garages are to the right. We can see Melissa's actually getting into one of the rovers. But let's just take a look. So we're outside in this massive asteroid field, which is really quite great. So we've done a fair amount on the space landscaping in 3.0. So one other thing, Glenn, do you want to pull up your Moby? Look at the atmosphere out here. Glenn doesn't like it when I do that because this can be quite risky. He's died a few times when we did the run-throughs for the press. So as you can see, there's zero atmosphere out there. So we'll just go to take his helmet off. Okay, well wait a sec. Save changes. Equip. Okay. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, do it. Save it. All right, if I left that a bit too long, we've done it and Glenn's died. And then he has to respawn and come all the way down, which makes it a bit slower. But rest assured, if you let it off longer, then he would have asphyxiated.
Yeah, I just nearly had a total recall moment. You all strapped in?
Yep. Let me just give John a call.
Looking good. For a dude.
Thanks.
Full screen for the call, maybe. Okay, so as you can see on our Moby glass, the communications that we showed, no, the other way, the other view. Thank you. So we're calling.
We do. Brad Park. That guy is so lazy.
This should be interesting then.
Yep. We're at Levski. Are you nearby?
Yeah, I'm just pulling into Levski now. I'll meet you at the landing pad.
In fact, we can pull up where he is in the constellation pool, maybe. Too late, but pull him up. So anyway, we can video. We showed the
John's ready for us.
We showed the
Let's go.
secondary viewport and render detection stuff. So So that's an example of it. We opened up a comm channel to another player flying in his constellation over Delmar and talk to him face to face, which is the reason why we were doing a lot of this secondary viewport stuff, to have video comms between players in different ships, different locations, as well as the holographic stuff that we showed. So let's go meet John. And as you can see, Delamar's had a lot of work. The team in Germany, the environment team's really been working hard on it. It also uses all the most recent technology improvements we've done for the planetary tech. So in any one of these views, there'll be about 100,000 interest objects. So small rocks, big rocks, whatever. You call them stalagmites going up? I can never remember. I think it is stalagmites going up. But, you know, obviously if we were on something that was a little less arid, you know, it would be different kinds of ecosystems, where say you have forests or grass plains or mountains or hills or oceans. But here we go. There we go. All right, and here we're coming. Here comes John in the constellation. And it's not just a constellation, it's actually a constellation Aquila. Up. John needs to, yeah. John, I think you need to line up a bit better. There you go. Maybe switch to, there you go. So here's John lowering the cargo bay for us.
All right, Glenn. That's easy. Really good. First try.
Yeah, parking these things is quite the challenge. You want John's view picture-in-picture, don't you, Paul?
That's good.
All right, bring us up, John. Bringing you up. Cheers, mate.
Switch to the view of Glenn. There you go.
Hey, John.
Hey, welcome aboard.
Thanks for doing this last minute.
Oh, no problem. Always up for a job. Ships are expensive. I'm pretty good at parts of that.
Why do I get the feeling let us back there in Myrian's parking job?
Probably. He was 100% that. Hey.
Ready for this?
Yeah. Stay running.
Always lagging behind.
Hurry.
All right, let's take off, guys. So, as you can see, Delamar's gotten a lot prettier since we showed it last year. You get a bit more of a view of like the craters and stuff on the other side.
It's just 25 cm.
Go down, I guess the pits pull out. So Delamar's probably one of the smallest of the planetoids we have. It's probably about, I think it's about maybe 200 kilometers in diameter. So it's a lot smaller than the moons. So when we get to the moons, you'll sort of see the difference, but it's essentially a quite large asteroid. And just going to get far enough away from, and as you can see, the space landscaping's much better than it was in 2.6. If you want to look down, we see the big crater. Can you? Yeah. So you can, yeah, there you go. And the crater to that left, you can see in there, I think the entirety of Skyrim fits inside there. So, and this is one of our smallest little planetoids. Good. Wow. Hey. So now we're heading to Daymar. So you can see Crusader actually off to the right as we head up on Daymar. That's a bug. The game crashed. No! Oh, John's machine crash, yeah. All right, sorry guys, the pilot's machine crashed, which is why it disappeared in the middle of the jump. Can you take over the pilot seat? All right, we're going to try to recover from this, get the pilot seat back, because unfortunately John has left the. Do you need a flight, power it off and power it back on to get it going? Melissa, do you have flight control? Can we power it off or not? Okay. All right. Well, we'll just have to get back to the top quickly. All right. So should we reset that? Okay. All right. Sorry, this didn't happen on run through that we just did before we did this. We're going to reset because we lost player 3 and we can't get control of the Connie. So everything else is running. The server's running, but player 3 lost and we can't recycle the power on the constellation unless you've tried it. Can you try? Are we trying this one more time, or are we just going to reset it? Try one more time. Or should we just do it from the? Should we just get back to this point really quickly? No, I'm just saying we should get back to the point and get here. We just don't do all the shopping and stuff. Just accept from Mal's account and run up here and do it. And just bypass the stuff quickly. Do you want to do that? I think they got power off. Let's try that. No, just try this again. Look, they got power off. Try it again. They put power off. Let's see. Okay, let's roll it from the start. Hey Paul, let's just get back in. Let's just roll it from the start because otherwise it's going to be a pain. We're going to restart because we lost player 3 when we lost him. We couldn't get control back of the colors. So you're going to get to do it again. We're going to get to do it again, but this time we won't have as much banter, and we'll get back to this point. Yeah, but it worked on the last number of playthroughs. Reconnected. So just speed, like we could just speed run back through it and do it again. Have you got the weapons? Do you need to buy the weapons or not? Well, you don't really. Well, you could just get. I did warn you that it potentially had some crashes in there. That was not one crash that we had in our. We had a few other crashes in our various playthroughs, but not that particular one, unfortunately. But you get to see it again. Here's the positive thing of it. Hey, do not show the loading screen, by the way. Off on the loading screen. Just be on the Star Citizen screen. Is this focused on me? Yeah, I'm trying to tell. Me. Hey, Paul, please get off the loading screen. Back. And I'm not going to do much talking. I'm going to let the pros do their work. So we got to go get our mission again. Well, mouse is there for...
Glad you could make it. Grab a seat. From time to time, jobs find their way to me that aren't orthodox requests. That's a better way to say that, but let's just say they aren't the kind of ops you can give to just anyone. They require a very specific type of person. Now, mutual friends have told me that you might be one of those precious few who are capable of completing a contract without question. If I'm wrong, we can leave it at that. Enjoy a drink, my spectacular company for a few minutes, and we'll part ways with the understanding that this meeting never happened. If I'm right, I might might just have a gig that I could use you for. To give you some backstory here, one of the many services Eckhart Security provides is as independent investigators. Sometimes that means extracting black box data, pulling data pads from wrecks, or even looking for missing persons. Different day, different job. That's what my dad always said. Sending you the details. Let me know when it's done.
Cheers, Miles.
Glenn! I heard
Let's
we
get
have
us a
mission.
railgun.
Yes, let's go.
No time, move. Schneller.
Hi, welcome.
That's the one.
Yoink.
We've just received some exciting new products. Have a look.
Yeah, not that lady. Go, go, go. Off, 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 off.
Right. So this pilot, John, is really particular about who sits in his co-pilot seats. So don't sit in them. We'll just have a really nice view.
No seatbelts, huh?
Just hold on to the railing.
Right.
You get the feeling deja vu?
Yeah, a bit. Perfect. We're on our way. John's ready for us.
Let's rock and roll.
Wonder how far the deep, or how deep, the Warhol goes.
I could check it out now.
You would. Nice driving, slick. Let me out here. Right.
Yeah, looking good.
Actually looks pretty good. What do you think, John?
No, credit for that.
Fired it off?
Creeping forward a little bit. Come on, lad. Bring me up, buddy. Okay, bring you up. Out of that.
Hey, John.
Hey, so, my ship's a bit, it's taking some damage. Maybe don't sit in the seats, don't touch any buttons, and we'll be good. We're gonna start the round while you fly. I mean, this is a comfortable ship. Make yourself at home. Just,
Sorry about that.
Hey,
Touch the wall here.
star map, figure out where we're going. If you see in the view, you guys can see that's Crusader off to the right, and then we're going to Caterpillar on Delamar, which is almost 1 million kilometers away, 793,000 kilometers. Okay, fingers crossed. Here we go. All right. Back in business. As you can see, by the way, Daymar is much larger than Delamar. I think it's maybe 1,000 or so kilometers in diameter.
Good job, John. I owe you a beer. If this mission goes well, you want me to?
magic.
Whoa, watch out.
Well, it's just a sync. It's a sync issue. It takes a second to sync it up.
Watch out for the rock. You know what? Next time, I'm driving.
Still got that go for me, mate.
Alex Lee Rack in the distance
Don't
there.
talk about that. Besides, I've been practicing.
Okay, we don't need to speed run anymore, guys.
Wanna get out first?
So we don't need to speed run anymore. We're back where we were.
Let's look out there.
She turned off the rover. All the lights went off. I'm out now. Could have waited. Alright, I'm ready. I'll scout ahead.
Nice gun.
Yeah, I need to get it repaired. But it still works.
Okay, well, you take point. You got the weapons.
Alright, I'm checking this left side first.
What a mess. This looks recent. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Check over the colors.
Thanks, Mom. Get right on that. Did you find it yet?
Can you take the point?
Got some stairs here. Careful. All the sparks everywhere. I think I found it.
Oh, what do you know?
Sorry.
Do you want to take point?
I'll let you lead.
I've got a gun. get shot in the back.
It'll be an accident. They'll just respawn. Maybe. I think I actually lost you. I found it.
Alright, John, we got what we came for. Awesome. Nice and quiet out here.
Alright. Get in the river.
You go first.
I'm driving this time.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm in. Don't forget to close the door.
It's closed.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Oh, John. Just let it over on our way.
Alright, John. We're on our way.
Great. By the way, when the camera's on you, because you're looking off, you gotta remember, you're always prime time.
Hopefully.
That wasn't so hard. I say no fire. Under attack. Under attack.
Hey, John, can you try taking up a little bit? You blow up the dash? Oops. Alright, well, guess they lost their ride. Glenn, you gonna call for help? Well, I don't think I'd be on the Buccaneer because it's completely black inside.
Line it up, line it up.
Have we called for help?
That's a no.
Sayonara, sucker. Good time right now.
You get a hold one.
Hey guys, do you think it's time to call for some help?
Hello there. We're in a slight case of bad luck. We need help.
quiet on its comms. I don't know.
Looks like we took some damage.
You guys have itches?
Well, yeah, we do.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
You better not.
No, these are gladiators from the Idris, by the way. So, in order to shoot you. All right, let's bring it out.
That's a huge ship.
Adjusting landing position. Hey, Melissa.
What?
Let me out. I want to get up to that thing.
Go on then. Just close the door. On your way out.
All right, open the way.
Picture from Rover out. So as you can see, the Idris is pretty large.
Adjusting position.
Good, but
So
not
it's
that
the
good.
first working capital ship that we've got in the game.
I'm disappointed. Hey, son.
Go with Glenn's view as well. Please, Glenn's view.
All right. Never done this before. Let's see how it goes.
take your railgun off. Take your railgun off and see the captain.
All right, Rover, join me on the bridge. Closing back door. Hello? We'll still get out of atmosphere. Guess I'll find my own way. All right, Glenn. Join me in the bridge. All right, clear for takeoff. Get us out of Daymar.
Proximity alert. Head. Proximity alert. Head. Proximity alert. Starboard. Proximity alert. Head. Proximity alert. Head.
So,
Hello!
Proximity alert. Head.
Bonjour, Captain.
Proximity.
Bonjour, Ben. Thanks for saving us out there. It was my pleasure. I just wish Blizzard and John were here to see it.
there you go. So, let's take a little pause here. Let's bring it down. Leaving Daymar.
All right, now let's talk about our, compensations. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So, sorry that was a bit rough there. We've had playthroughs that have run all the way, and then we have playthroughs that we've had, because as you can see, that's why you don't have 3.0 now. We're still working on some of the bugs. We're working really hard, but it's a much more complicated endeavor than any of the previous releases, just because of the scale, the locations, the amount of objects and entities that we're dealing with is geometrically larger than we've done before. I mean, it's millions of brushes and entities in the 3.0 we just showed you versus maybe 50,000 or so in 2.6. So it requires a fair amount of engineering to make everything work, and obviously you can still see that there's some crashes here and there. And we had a multiplayer demo there with a lot of different people in, so when someone goes down and they're flying the ship, it's hard to recover, which is what happened in the early one. But yes, that's the first time we've had a flying capital ship. And most of the times we've gotten the buggy up the ramp, but we're still, as you know, they're still working for some physics things, so we probably shouldn't have pushed it too much there. But I'm pretty excited about seeing ships that size with people talking with each other, making funny faces to each other, flying in the world. So I'm not giving you a 3.0 overview. That was actually us playing the game. But we're just going to talk about a couple other things, because the other things that come with 3.0 is going to be the new launcher, which has installer, self-update features, refreshed UI, backend to manage secure build distributions, core support for installing multiple games, launch configuration, so we can handle everything from our QA, PTU, and the live builds. And we have the Delta patcher, which I know you guys are going to be all very excited about because... and we've actually been using it for internally in our development for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. There's still been a few bugs, but it definitely speeds up getting the freshest build, so it'll speed up getting the newest build for you guys and not take a vast amount of data. And it's also going to have an early Spectrum integrated into the actual patcher client. So this is what the platform team's doing at Turbulent. So they're working on the desktop support, which is, we're talking about the new installer, the launcher, the patcher, obviously, and the game overlay. So as you're playing the game, you can actually bring up Spectrum as an overlay and chat to your friends and organizations. VoIP, so we're going to be putting VoIP into Spectrum as well as putting it into the game. And in fact, the Spectrum integration is actually what the backend data channel is going to be used for our sort of VoIP/FOIP. And in the case that we're showing here, this was all going through our game server, which would rather not put that much data through the game server because it's already got a lot to do for simulation load. So that is what will, once we have the Spectrum side, that will enable us to turn it on for the game for you guys. So here it is. That's kind of the setup of it. Spectrum is the sort of core backbone. We have both our sort of website platform and then the game world. And the backbone is going to allow the transport of the face and voice data, you know, the ship-to-ship, the helmet comms, the area around you, the proximity, and then we'll also be able to do chat in voice over IP in Spectrum, so it'll have the same sort of Discord size features. What's that? No. The voice over IP is not going to be on 3.0. So that's what we're working towards. But I'm saying the Spectrum implementation for the backend data channel is what will enable us to turn on the VoIP, face over IP in the game. So we're aiming to do it for 3.1. So it's the next release afterwards. So we gave you a preview. And I'm not going to give you a date for that, by the way, because no. I'm not even going to I'm not making any promises. I'm not giving you any date whatsoever. But I will say everyone's working very, very hard. Yeah, that's probably a good. So one extra thing we'll do here, guys, can I switch to audio for this? No? Okay, I'm going to go, let me go back. So we go here. All right. So we have a little video to talk a bit more about the face over IP implementation. So you saw some of what we're doing. This will go into a little bit more technical detail and also talk about our partnership with Faceware. So here we go.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Sean Tracy, and for those that don't know me, I'm the Technical Director of Content here at Cloud Imperium Games. And today, I'm really lucky to be able to show you a feature that I'm personally really excited about. And this is a collaboration between Faceware Technologies and Cloud Imperium Games. And what I'm going to show you is how we've integrated facial tracking into Star Citizen. Here I am. You can see that there's a bunch of different dots on my face, and these are landmark points that we use for facial tracking. And the tracking is quite intelligent. So as I turn my head and a face is lost, we actually disable the facial tracking. And if I turn this way, this is handy for things like occlusion. So if your hand gets in the way, maybe a pen gets in the way, we disable the facial tracking at those instances. Now, you're not here to see my face. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this actually maps to a character. So you may recognize this gentleman. This is Liam Cunningham, who plays Captain White in Squadron 42. One of the really important things to notice, or to note rather, is that this is still early days with this technology. We're doing a lot to map and to improve the quality of the actual tracking, as well as adding new phonemes in to the tracking so that the runtime logic reacts exactly as we expect it to. So this is never meant to be a replacement for facial animation, but rather something for the players to be able to run and to drive an actor in real time, or a character rather in real time. So to explain how this all kind of works is that we've got a bunch of outputs that happen from the Live SDK technology, and then through a layer called motion logic, we map all of that to inputs of our runtime rig. And since every character within Star Citizen has its own unique runtime rig created dynamically, they will always react appropriately to whatever the inputs are. So it won't exactly be my blinks, it'll be Liam Cunningham's blinks. You can see even things like the ears moving when the scalp moves. And we even track the eyes. So let's go ahead and show how actually different bits of rig logic might react a little bit differently, giving a different character, essentially. As Belosa, he has really quite nice wrinkle maps that happen on the side of his face. So if I pull my face to the side. Where this feature really comes into its own is in the combination of it with our VoIP technology. We've talked about how this feature can work on a consumer-level web camera. However, here's Peter Bush from Faceware to talk about a motion sensor they've developed specifically for this feature.
Hi, my name's Peter Bush. I'm one of the co-founders of Faceware Technologies and Faceware Interactive. Faceware is a facial motion capture company. We create hardware and software products that can create animation simply from video. About a year ago, Cloud Imperium asked us to do something we've never done before. Integrate our real-time technology into Engine and allow game characters to interact and emote in real time, but by being live driven by the players themselves. This is quite an engineering challenge, but I knew my teams in Austin and Los Angeles could collaborate with the incredibly talented Cloud Imperium development team to make this happen. The new VoIP feature will work with nearly any camera, but we were asked what's going to create the best possible experience. So we set out to engineer the first gaming device designed specifically for facial tracking. Here it is, the first prototype facial motion sensor. This is the first one off the production line. Now there are many specs about this device that are going to give you the best possible experience for facial tracking. First, the image sensor runs at 60 frames per second. Now while that's important, is the way in which our technology works. From one video frame to the next, we basically can create an animated result. Meaning what we see in that first video frame, we're going to analyze the expression on your face, and by the next video frame, we have that animated result. So the faster that frame rate is running, the faster you're going to be able to keep up and get that performance. And at 1/25th or 1/30th of a second, which is common in most webcams, it might not keep up and your lip sync might not read. But at 1/60th of a second, now the words that you're saying are going to be spoken by your character running in-game. Now second, we looked at where most common you're going to be using this device. And more often than not, you're only going to be lit by the light coming from your monitor, so the sensor had to work in a low light environment. So we selected a 1/3 inch, 3.4 megapixel sensor that's capable of 720 or 1080 at 60 frames per second in a near dark environment. Third, most webcams are a wide angle lens, which makes your face a little bit smaller in frame and a lot less facial details and facial pixels for our technology to capture and track. So we selected a single user field of view. Now this allows our technology to basically get more pixels from your face from that frame and get the best possible facial details into Engine. Now fourth, we put on a high resolution glass lens that's going to resolve that data and give us the best possible and sharpest focus for facial tracking. These specs are going to allow you to have the best possible experience with the new VoIP feature. While this is only a prototype, we're going to go into mass production and we're going to bring this to you. We've been working on this technology for nearly 7 years, but this is the first game that's wanted to integrate this into Engine and allow character-to-character communication like you've never seen before. We're excited to bring this to Star Citizen, and we can't wait to see what you do with it.
Having integrated this technology, there's a lot of ideas and things we wanted to try with it. So one of the ideas that we came up with was that because we already know the position of the face itself, we actually know where the head is. So we can do something pretty exciting that I find very fun, is head tracking. So as I move my head in real life, all the camera is moved, just as if you were driving a track IR sort of simulation. But this is, again, all from a consumer level web camera. So this actually adds quite a bit. I find that this gives me a ton of situational awareness when I'm flying around. I can just move my head a little bit more. I can check on my power, I can check on my shields. I can even inspect things a little bit up close if I combine this with zoom. So there we got some towers over there. You can look up. You can even do crazy stuff like rolls. So roll to the other way, and it's kind of fun if we combine it with this. So here I'll try to keep my head on the horizon until it's just too much, and then we put it back over and maybe look up. Let's see if we can see anything from Levski there. Oh yeah, cool. All right, and then we'll roll it back over. One of these. Whoop, that was the other way. And there we go. So as you can see, it is very natural, and you can just look around within it. And again, it's kind of coming for free because we are already tracking the facial position, so we can extrapolate from that what the head position is. So as you can see, the collaboration between Faceware and Cloud Imperium Games, even in this early stage of development, is already breaking new ground and doing things that haven't really been seen before. So we're really excited to develop these features, and we can't wait to get them to you. So until then, this is Sean Tracy from Cloud Imperium Games Los Angeles saying goodbye. Eric's got a little song that he sometimes kind of comes and sings, and it looks pretty awesome. So you want to take it away?
I once was a man outside.
Perfect.
So we actually, we only just got these prototypes. We actually use, like Glenn's using it here. I think Melissa was using it downstairs. But earlier in the press run-throughs, we were using normal webcams, and these are better because they're more focused on your face, and 60 frames a second is better than 30 frames, but it will work with 30 frames a second. So we'll let you know a bit more about this as we go forward, but we actually have real working prototypes, which is great because we didn't get to that stage properly on the joystick debacle we had. So we're not going to do that on this one. We're definitely, it's good. We choose our partners better now. And I can say that because Mad Catz is gone now, so whatever. So, now I got a question for you guys. Would you like to see a little bit more Idris action? Yeah! All right, okay, so... all right, well, let's go back. We should pick up the story where it was. And I'll let Paul take it away back there.
All right, guys. Welcome aboard the Rochefort.
Thanks for letting us board. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Glad to have you back.
Oh man, you really saved us back there. And, Melissa, you're looking surprisingly alive.
Yeah,
That looks good on you, though.
I just ejected.
Alright, but what were you doing on that planet, man?
So, we took a contract with Eckhart Securities. And, well, I guess we weren't the only ones that took one.
Yeah, I guess not. So, where does that contract take you, really?
If it's all right with you, we need to go to Grimhex.
Grimhex, eh? Well, I guess set a course for Yella.
Ready to gauge on your command.
Make it so.
QT drive.
Okay, this is a little cool. Friends of yours?
Guess we'll find out.
Attention! Enemy Idris Captain. So far today, you have destroyed 2 of my ships, killed 2 of my men, and stole my box. So, I'm gonna give you exactly 1 chance. Either hand over the box, or I'll put a hole in the ship and scavenge through the wreck.
Nice bluffing. I call a bluff on that one.
Can we talk about this? We already talked about it. You've got 1 option, and that's that.
Well, I guess you're gonna have to come and get it then.
I prefer that anyways.
Right, it's a high degree of difficulty. We'll see. Okay. Stereo. Switch to. Just exit the ship. All right, back. There you go. There we go. All right, we brought him home. Okay. We can. Okay, we can. Finish, Paul. Fade for you. There we go. Now, I got a question for you. The team's probably going to kill me. If you want to wait for another minute, do you want to do another run of that battle? But this time, we tell them that the bad guys don't have to lose. Whoever wins, wins. And have a proper fight. Yes? You want to do that? All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. No stormtrooper shooting. Best side wins. What's that? Yeah, have a vodka soda, please. It's alive. All right, it'll take them a few minutes to respin up the server and bring up the clients. So anyway, that's the first time that we only got capital ships fighting probably about a week ago. But it's actually pretty cool. And obviously it's going to get much smoother. You can see some sync issues between different views and stuff, which are things that we're working on 3.0. But this is going to, I don't know, it's going to be pretty awesome going forward. Because you'll be able to fly everything from a single-seater ship to the multi-crew ships to huge capital ships. Do it with a large group of your friends, by yourself, small amount of people. I think it'll be fun. How long until you do this? Yes. Let's show the team downstairs. That'll be great. So here they are. This is the guys. So it's a combination of German and UK test teams and a couple of actual volunteers from you guys, the community. Thank you. All right. Cheers, everybody. Hey guys, so it'll be about 5 minutes. Do you want me to play, say, the 600i commercial again at the beginning? All right. Let's get some eye candy for you while we're waiting. Can you sit back? Okay.
What does it take to build a symphony? It takes a blueprint. 4 movements that will dictate key, tempo, and the arrangement of musical notes that will create harmonies, melodies. It takes an orchestra. Master technicians of their craft, working in perfect unity to transform notes into sound and those sounds into an experience. But most of all, it takes emotion. A feeling so powerful that it transcends words. It must be conveyed in another form. Introducing the new 600i from Origin. A symphony in motion. See your authorized Origin dealer for details.
think the good guys wanted to prove that they could win without the gloves being off, but all right. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I mean, it is already almost 12:25. So I hope you enjoyed both seeing some of the 3.0 stuff that you're going to get to play very soon, and some of the stuff that will be in the near future. And let's bring up the guys so you can actually see the team. So, yeah. All right, the QA guys are up. This is one of them. You should get up. Stand up, go ahead. Don't have anything up. All right. Who else we got? Oh, wait. Come on, Adam. Good. Bow, John. Bow. All right, so well, thank you very much for coming to the event here. I think we'll hang out for a bit if you want to say hi and have some drinks. I think we've got some, what do we have? Oh yeah, we'll should get signatures from the battlers here. And I'll be happy, and the rest of the team will be happy to talk to you guys and sign things, do whatever else. We really appreciate your support, allowing us to build the game of our dreams and your dreams, I think, and enable us to sort of do things that we showed tonight. And we will endeavor and work really hard to get you 3.0 as soon as possible.